Shalom. How y'all been doing? Doing all right? For sure. Shalom to everybody online. The title of today's lesson is There is no peace. There is no peace. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon. Let's get Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 22. Yep. Got my brother with me. Let's go.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 2.
22.
Verse 22. Moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of God.
Go ahead.
But whereas they lived in the great war of ignorance.
The great war of ignorance. This is speaking about us. Speaking about us right now. We live in a great or the great war of ignorance. Why is it a war? It's spiritual warfare and physical warfare out here. And the great war of ignorance because we're doing everything to try to wake our people up, to try to get them to see who they are. And how do our people react? In most cases, they don't want to hear it. They're ignorant to the fact, and the key word in ignorance is what? Ignore. They want to ignore the truth, all right? So go ahead.
Those so great plagues called they peace.
They call this peace. So many people, you'll tell them, we're not at peace, and they'll tell you in a heartbeat, yes, I am. I got peace. I got me a place. I got me a car. I got me a girl. I got me a man. I'm at peace. I go and I have fun. I go to the club. I go here. I go to church. And people really think that they got peace. But we do not have peace. Let's go from there. Lamentations, chapter 3, verse 17. The great war of ignorance.
Lamentations, chapter 3 and verse 17. And thou hast removed my soul far off from peace.
So he says that thou hast removed my soul far off from peace. We've literally been moved so far from peace to the point where you couldn't even imagine how far we are in the way we live, in the environment that we're subjected to, how far we are off from anything that you could even possibly call or think to call peace. But go ahead.
I forgot prosperity.
He said, I was so far removed from peace that I forgot prosperity. That's us as a people. We don't know what prosperity looks like. That's why when you get a couple of jakes that get some decent jobs, that pay some quote unquote decent wages, and they can finally, purchase a house, have a couple of nice cars, have a few toys, they think that that's prosperity. And it's so crazy because their minds are so warped. They'll try to fool themselves and will themselves into believing that because them and a few others are doing well, that we as a people are doing well. But we're so far off from prosperity, especially as a people. And even on an individual level, we're still captives. I don't care how much money you make. You got who was that? Oprah Winfrey and Bill Cosby. And they have the funds to purchase these major networks. And of course, Esau was like, no way. Said you better go and purchase own. You ain't getting your hands on NBC. You feel what I'm saying? So you still a nigga. You still a Mexican. All right? So let's go from there. Go to Jeremiah. Our people, we think this is prosperity. We think that this is peace, but it's far from it. Jeremiah chapter 5, and let's read verse 15 on down. We'll stop at 25.
Jeremiah chapter 5 and verse 15. Lo, I will bring a nation upon you from far, O house of Israel, saith the Lord. It is a mighty nation, it is an ancient nation, a nation whose language thou knowest not, neither understandest what they say.
So he was talking about Esau. Esau, he's been around for a minute. And at that time when we got conquered by Esau, we didn't know his language. And it was rough. Go ahead.
Their quiver is as an open sepulchre. They are all mighty men.
He said they are all mighty men. When you look at the time of Esau, during the time of the Greeks, during the time of Rome, and even during the time when America came over, right? All mighty men. They already had it in their mind. You know, they were about war from jump. Whereas you get us, we was probably in the cut trying to play some dominoes and chill and have some peace. Esau was like, nah, we ain't gonna have no kind of peace until we conquer everything. I need it all. Said, I'm willing to die for this. I want my kids to have it all. And that's the spirit that they rolled in and they continue to roll in. Go ahead.
And they shall eat up thine harvest and thy bread, which thy sons and thy daughters should eat.
So they took everything. They started eating up our crops. Took everything from us as a people. Go ahead.
They shall eat up thy flocks and thine herds. They shall eat up thy vines and thy fig trees.
Didn't they do that? The water, appreciate it. They did that on multiple levels. You look at the Native Americans. All of the they got this one picture, and it's got to be like over 1,000 skeletons and skulls of the bison that the Native Americans lived and used for so many different things: food, clothing, so on and so forth. And just because they could, as the Bible says, just because there was power in their hands to do so, they slaughtered them, almost annihilated them here in the United States. Go ahead.
They shall impoverish thy fed cities, wherein thou trustest, with the sword.
And that's what they did. They came with the sword. Read.
Nevertheless, in those days, saith the Lord, I will not make a full end with you.
The Most High said, look, I'm going to bring a whole lot of hell and destruction on you. He said, but I'm not going to make a full end to you. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass, when ye shall say, Wherefore doeth the Lord our God all these things unto us? Then shalt thou answer them, like as ye have forsaken me, and served strange gods in your land.
Ain't there something else? And that's what our people ask. They say, okay, what? Then, idiots like Polite. They put it out there. Oh, y'all serving the God, still waiting on God. Look, everybody's asking this question, and they constantly perpetuate this question. Then why? Where is God at? Why would God do such a thing? If this was God, couldn't he have done X, Y, and Z? Why would God do this? But they never want to deal with why God would do this. No different than how we would deal, or a good parent, a parent that wanted what was best, that wanted some discipline for their child, no different than how we would deal with our child. People try to go and they try to demonize it, make it seem like it's so crazy. But you got to go through the history. You got to go through all of the warnings, all of the mercy that was given. And when you understand that and you acknowledge that, all the captivities that we've been in as a people, to a point, it's like, you know what? I really got to put my foot down. Read that one more time.
And it shall come to pass, when ye shall say, Wherefore doeth the Lord our God all these things unto us?
He said, why would the Most High do all these things to us? Read.
Then shalt thou answer them, like as ye have forsaken me, and served strange gods in your land.
Go ahead.
So shall ye serve strangers in a land that is not yours.
Ain't that cold? But that's righteous. He said, look, and you know it's true, because you see the same spirit that our people have on them to this very day. Our people can easily choose to celebrate Passover. they can easily choose to celebrate the Feast of Dedication. They can easily choose to celebrate and honor the Sabbath. They could easily choose to honor the history of our forefathers defeating our enemies. Purim, again, Feast of Dedication, Memorial of Simon. But what do they choose instead? They want to choose Easter bunnies. They want to choose fat white men in jumpsuits. That's what they choose. Same spirit. Because some people, people negate the fact of our people serving other gods. People will tell you that that's asinine. Oh, we ain't serving no other gods. I'm just, doing whoop-de-whoop. And they want to mitigate the fact that they are breaking the first of the 10 commandments, putting other gods before the Most High. And just because you make it seem like it's all fun and games and jolly jelly beans and all of that other crap, it does not make it any less of an offense and an abomination. He says, so guess what? Since you want to serve other gods, I got one better for you. I'm going to have you serve your enemy. As Job said, the same one that you wouldn't even allow to sit at the foot of the table with your dogs. He said, now they're going to be above you and you're going to have to serve them. And they're going to look at you like you ain't nothing. That's where we at right now. You think that's unfair? When you go back and you look at everything that we've done and how we still have such a pompous attitude towards the Most High. You would think with us having our tails whooped the way we keep getting whooped, that some sense would come out of our head and say, you know what? I gotta do something. I gotta cry out to the Heavenly Father. We need some change. But for all of that, our people still don't want to call on God. They still don't want to seek out the Creator. So I think that this is definitely just. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass when ye shall say, wherefore doeth the Lord our God all these things unto us? Then shalt thou answer them, like as ye have forsaken me, and served strange gods in your land, so shall ye serve strangers in a land that is not yours.
Go ahead.
Declare this in the house of Jacob, and publish it in Judah, saying, hear now this, O foolish people, and without understanding.
He called you foolish and without understanding. That's what he thinks of us. He said, you had it all. He said, I laid it all out. All you had to do was stick to the script. All you had to do was honor what you said you was going to honor. You made a covenant with me, an agreement. We'll honor the game, but we don't want to honor our God. We'll honor our jobs and these businesses and our enemies, but we won't honor our God. He said, you foolish and without understanding, because if you really understood what was coming to you, I guarantee you would jump ship. Guess what? If you knew that if you showed up here tomorrow at 12 o'clock noon, that there would be $1 million waiting on you, I guarantee you'd have your butt here before 12. Wouldn't you? But there's a lack of belief in our people. And even more so a lack of belief because they're not even willing to consider it. You tell people, look, let me show you that you an Israelite. I got all the proof. I'll show you everywhere in the Bible. I'll show you pictures. I'll give you the history. I'm good. Maybe some other time. I got to work. I got to see what my schedule look like. How would you feel if you had someone that you was interested in, especially romantically, and they put you off like that? How would that make you feel? Think about that. You feel some type of way. You feel slighted at some point. At first you might say, okay, playing hard to get. But then after about 5-10 years and you still playing hard to get, hey, there's other fish in the sea. I ain't got time for that. Go ahead.
Hear now this, O foolish people, and without understanding, which have eyes and see not, which have ears and hear not.
He said, you got eyes and ears, but you ain't trying to see what's before you, and you definitely ain't trying to hear this word. You ain't trying to hear these laws and hear these testimonies. He said, you want to act like it ain't in front of you. Every rapper and their mama talking about we Israelites now. And for all of that, you still won't hearken. Go ahead.
Fear ye not me, saith the Lord. Will you not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sand for the bound of the sea by a perpetual decree that it cannot pass?
Hold on. He said, fear not me. You don't fear me? He said, of everything that I've done, of my reputation that precedes me, you don't fear me. And it's crazy because look how our people turn up. We be out there in the streets preaching this word, and what kind of responses do we get? Oh, some bold Israelites. Bold. Most High said, you don't fear me? He said, look at all the things that I do. He said, look, you look at the sea. You look at the sands of the sea. He said, and I only allow the water to come so far by a perpetual decree just because my words say so. My word that strong. I ain't even got to lay a hand on you. All I got to do is put a word out. He said, I command the sun to do what it do, and it stays doing what it does and doesn't deviate from that. He said, and you ain't afraid of me? Go ahead.
Fear ye not me, saith the Lord. Will you not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sand for the bound of the sea by a perpetual decree, that it cannot pass it? And though the waves thereof toss themselves, yet can they not prevail. Though they roar, yet can they not pass over it.
He said, look at that. He said, if you go, because think about it. If you made your own makeshift beach, I gave you the supplies, you made your sand, gave you some beach houses to put in place, and you put some water in a big old thing, and how would you be able to get it to mind you in the same way the ocean minds the Heavenly Father? He said, man, we see these things and we take these things for granted. He said, do you know how much power and authority I have just being able to command these things to function the way they function without going haywire? He said, and all of that, and you don't fear me? That's why he say you foolish. But then you fear this dumb stuff out here. You fear the white man. You fear your own kind. He said, what's wrong with you? Go ahead.
But this people had the revolting and rebellious heart.
You see that? He said the nation of Israel. And that's one of the ways you know. Because sometimes I just sit there and I just look at my people. Because a lot of them say the same thing and do the same thing. And one thing I hate to say it, I'm going to be honest. Israel, like he said, I would put them in a deep sleep, a deep slumber. We so sleep that we don't have good reasoning skills. The majority of us. You talk to some Edomites about some of this, and they'll with their reasoning, they can see. But our own people can't see it. They refuse to see it. Bible says we're rebellious and we love to revolt. We love to go against what's right. And we glorify what's wrong. I don't even keep up. I guess I'm getting older now. But I kept up with rap. I was a rapper. I was, you know what I'm saying, hardcore and doing all of this nonsense. We love to do some evil. We make some evil sound real good. We make some evil, man. Man, as a youngster coming up, I'm like, man, I got to be with that. I got to show them that I'm real. And they glorify it to the point as a kid, you want to be that. You want to follow that same path. That's what our people, that's what we're good at doing. Go ahead.
They are revolted and gone.
Go ahead.
Neither say they in their heart, let us now fear the Lord our God.
At some point you would think we'd have enough sense as a nation to say, you know what, it's time for us to get it right. We see how Trump moving. We see how white folks is waking up everywhere and they ain't even pretending like they like us no more. They still lynching us in 2017. They shooting us with impunity. police, they ain't even covert no more. They're as overt as can be. Racism is it's always been at an all-time high, but they like I said, they're not trying to hide it anymore.
It's
and
blatant.
It's blatant. And you would think for all of that our people would say, you know what, it's time to get it right. For all of that, everybody got cancer. You would think that somebody, I done seen a couple of folks on their deathbed, and I'm begging them, let me show you who the Most High is. Let me show you. Crazy. Go ahead.
That giveth rain, both the former and the latter, in his season. He reserveth unto us the appointed weeks of the harvest.
Said again, he said, not only do I control the seas, he said, I control the seasons. I control what's in the skies. Go ahead.
Your iniquities have turned away these things, and your sins have withholden good things from you.
In other words, he said, it's our fault. It's your fault. It's my fault. He said all of these things could easily be cleared up. Deuteronomy chapter 30, he said, if you just turn back to me. He said, if you just turn back. But for all of this, our people don't want to turn back. They want to continue to be rebellious. They want to continue to eat all of those abominable things and turn up and screw everybody that they get a chance to screw. Having as many babies as they can out of wedlock. Taking every man that they could possibly take their girl, and write songs about it. Get blowed out of our mind. Come up with new things to get high off of. Drinking promethazine and popping mollies and what's the Xannies and everything else. But for all of that, and the crazy thing, before they even think about coming up in here, they're going to go to the bootleg church. Because they know they'll be, man, I got more accepted in the bootleg church, man. I was blowing big weed. Selling a little bit of weed. Getting drunk out of my mind. Perpetuating a certain type of lifestyle in my rap. And for all of that, they love me. Soon as I said I'm going to follow God, I'm going to keep the commandments, everybody turned on me. I couldn't understand it at first because I didn't have all of this at first. I was alone out there, and it blew my mind. I said, why people treating me like this? What's really good? All of a sudden, I say I want to keep the commandments, I want to follow God, and everybody turned on me. Oh, he the devil. He the leader of a cult. Something wrong. He done been turned over to a reprobate mind. I knew at that point, I said, oh man, it's something to this. I gotta dig deeper. But let's go from there. Let's go to stay in Jeremiah. Turn to chapter 6. Let's start at verse 9. We're gonna read 9 and 15.
Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 9.
Yeah.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall truly glean the remnant of Israel as a vine.
He said they gonna glean you. You know what that means? They gonna take it. They gonna destroy you and every bit of you. They gonna take and take and take from you. They ain't gonna leave nothing. This white man, he will take from you, but he don't just take a little bit or not even just take the bulk, but he wants to take everything you got. He want to take your money. He want to take your livelihood. He want to take your dignity, your name. He want to take your family. He want to take your wife. He want to destroy your children. He want to destroy your health. He want to destroy your mental health. That's what it's talking about. Go ahead.
Turn back thine hand as a grape gatherer into the basket.
Go ahead.
To whom shall I speak and give warning, that they may hear? Behold, their ear is uncircumcised, and they cannot hearken. Behold, the word of the Lord is unto them a reproach. They have no delight in it.
He said this word to our people is a reproach. They ain't got no delight in this word. It's a few of us. All praise to the Most High that we starting to wake up. But even when you look at the ratio of those of us that actually are saying, look, man, there's something to this, versus everybody that you know, everybody that's around you, It's way more than just telling you that you crazy. Folks that grew up in the same house as you. Folks that used to respect you, all of a sudden they ain't got no respect for you. Go ahead.
What, the next one?
Yes, sir. Verse 11.
Oh, you want verse 11? Verse 11, therefore I am full of the fury of the Lord. I am weary with holding in. I will pour it out upon the children abroad, and upon the assembly of young men together. For even the husband with the wife shall be taken, the age with him that is full of days.
He said, I ain't sparing nobody. He said, no respect is a person. Everybody gonna get it. Go ahead.
And their houses shall be turned into others, with their fields and wives together. For I will stretch out my hand upon the inhabitants of the land, saith the Lord.
And that's exactly what he did to us. Let's just talk about this particular captivity. That's what he did to so-called Latinos, so-called Native Americans, so-called blacks, so-called West Indians. Ain't that what he did to us? As well as all of Israel that's scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. It's sad because we just now starting to really see all of the Israelites that are in all these various different countries all over the earth going through hell. Here we are in our mind thinking like, man, it's going to get bad. It's going to get bad. And they saying it is bad. They getting put to death on a daily basis right now, Israelites. Our people looking at us that's here like, man, y'all tripping. That ain't going to happen. And it's happening right now. And the crazy thing, if people wanted to see whether or not it was happening, they have the ability to do so. But they choose not to because it's not important to them. As long as they got their paycheck at the end of the month, as long as they bills is paid, as long as their immediate family is getting taken care of, even though their neighbor's son got killed, but just because it wasn't their son, they feel like they cool. And they want to live in this bubble and pretend like our nation ain't getting tore up on all sides. Go ahead.
For from the least of them, even unto the greatest of them, everyone is given to covetousness.
Everybody want to talk about what they trying to get. I need the whoop-de-whoop. I got to, I'm trying to get in this position so I can get this. I want this type of house. I want this type of car. I want this type of girl. I want this type of man. Everybody's concerned about what they can get, what they want. And not enough of our people are concerned about giving ourselves, sacrificing ourselves to do whatever we can to uplift our nation out of these terrible times that we're experiencing right now. Getting ready to fight this real fight that we're getting ready to fight. Here we are, we're on the verge of literal war and battle because we've been in war, but we're talking about the physical battle. We're literally on the verge of actually fighting, having to take this kingdom. And who's preparing? I look at myself, I'm out of shape. I said, I got to change my mind state. I'm stuck in a rut. Who are we preparing? We're not even prepared ourselves. I think I mentioned this the other day. Folks ain't got no extra water. Ain't got no flashlights available. You ain't got nothing. And you doggone sure a lot of us ain't even got no firearms. Don't have any real means to protect yourself. Because our enemy is banking on us to always focus on things that we want. And then the rest of us, we just focusing on trying to get by. And we never think that, you know what, if we come together collectively, we can get the things that we need. We can acquire the training and skill that we need. Go ahead.
For from the least of them, even unto the greatest of them, everyone is given to covetousness. And from the prophet, even unto the priest, everyone dealeth falsely.
Everybody's dealing falsely. All these bootleg, jackleg, chicken-eating pastors. Catfish frying old bastard pastors that ain't got nothing but a word of prosperity for you. Sitting up there, man, I got a doggone posting on my door. Some older women. I mean, these women are older, walking door to door. And they putting and I seen the man's face, and I seen it from a distance. I didn't know who it was, and when I got up on it, it was Noel Jones. And I'm like, man, out of all of the people that you could be getting to do this work, to do this footwork, you got some old women. And they probably so delighted, thinking they being blessed. Noel Jones got money. And I've heard people vouch and say, oh, man, he does so much for the community. I don't see the effects. I know a number of pastors that's making a whole bunch of money, and I've seen some of the stats on their earnings. And collectively, if the churches wanted to change the very fabric of this community, they could easily do so by making a proper contribution and still have more than enough left over for themselves. But as the Bible says, they greedy dogs. I wish I would respect the pastor. Tom, oh, don't say that, don't say that. Don't talk on God. Man, them ain't God's people. Unless they turn and repent from their ways, those are some greedy dogs. Go ahead. Watch what he say about them. Verse 14.
They have healed also the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly.
Talking about Israel. He said they've healed us slightly. Watch what they say. Go ahead.
Saying, peace, peace, when there is no peace.
I want to tell you, in the name of Jesus, you're healed. Folks falling out, get the slobbering and acting a fool. And you feel good for the rest of the day. My Lord. Then you back at it. You ain't healed. You get a fix. I call it the spiritual crack house. Folks get mad at me when I call. I say that in the street, they get fired. Man, they get fired up. They get so upset with me. Spiritual crack house. Go get you a hit. Go up and I see gangsters and thugs. Get emotional. Get emotional. Everybody got their own patented dance, and if you can't dance, you just jump. It's a circus. I see some of my folks, man, and man, I pray that y'all repent. Some of y'all be big on Facebook with that nonsense. It's a new day. Like I tell people all the time, why would I serve a God that when you get his spirit, he make you act a doggone fool? How can you worship a God when you get his spirit, you take on his likeness, you lose your damn mind? And start chicken winging and bojangling. What sense do that make? Tell me, what sense do that make? Crazy. But go ahead.
Were they ashamed when they had committed abomination? Nay.
He said, nah. Our people, when they do all of the abominable things, you talking about, man, I see hookers make their money and they be in church on Sunday. Man, I'm telling you, I'm keeping it real with you. I'll be high and drunk as I don't know what. Hangover, barely make it to the church. I done fell asleep in the parking lot. Every kind of gayness all up in the choir stand. Praising the Lord. Man, everybody got a special way they speak tongues. Like, I'm telling you, man, at the old church I just came, years back, but when I came out of it, man, they had witches all in the back. It's crazy. It's like literally like a circus, a sideshow up in there. He said, for all of that, he said, were they ashamed when they had committed these abominations? Nope. Our people are shameless Shameless. Straight up. You know I'm telling the truth, huh? They up in there praying and stuff, doing all kind of wicked stuff, but then they praying like, bless us with this money tonight. I look back on some of the dumb prayers I sent up, and I just thank the Most High for bringing me out, because I done sent up some dumb prayers. I was dead in the wrong, but I'm praying. What kind of sense do that make? Foolish. Go ahead.
They were not at all ashamed, neither could they blush.
He said, not only was they ashamed, they didn't even, you know, when you blush, you can't control it. It just happens. It's like a natural reaction, right? It's like a natural, a natural instinct or affection. He said they so shameless to the point where they can't even blush. And I know, man, I can't, because it's all on the net, and I don't want to put it out there like that. One of my jobs, goodness, on the whole stroke, and to see how shameless these women be. You sitting up there, everybody looking at you, and you pop a squat. Shameless. Reach in your car and find something to wipe yourself with. Shameless. That's how our people rolling. Sad. Israel. God's chosen people. Go ahead.
Therefore they shall fall among them that fall. At the time that I visit them, they shall be cast down, saith the Lord.
Go from there. Go to Proverbs. Proverbs 26. This is what these preachers say, and this is definitely what this white man say to us right here. Proverbs 26. Let's read 24 through 26.
Proverbs chapter 26 and verse 24. He that hateth dissembleth with his lips.
Someone that hates will dissemble with their lips. They'll spread lies and deceit and dissension. Go ahead.
And layeth up deceit within him.
Who does this? Who's great at doing this? Esau, exactly. The so-called white race. And this is the main way that they destroy us. They ain't even dropped as many bombs on us nearly as they've done damage with their mouth, with their words. That's what a devil is. One who falsely accuses. Go ahead.
When he speaketh fair,
he speak fair.
Believe him not.
Hold on 1 second. All of them speak fair. Oh yeah. We're about the people. America. Land of the free and home of the brave.
Sure, I love everybody.
How could you not with the flag? How could you not honor the flag? Those soldiers went out and they put their life on the line for all of us. Yeah. How dare you?
From all nation, creeds, and colors.
And this is he know. He knows. And some folks really feel some type of way. They kind of give in like, man, maybe he's right. It makes it sound real good, like you the bad person for standing up for something, for standing up for your people. So the Bible says when he speaketh fair, he's going to tell you that he's going to do all these things for your benefit. He's going to tell you since I've been living, and I've been on this earth 37 years, every president that I've seen come into office, before he came, he ain't no she's yet. Before he came into office, he had all of these promises. Not one of them has delivered. Not one yet. And yet, for all of that, people still go and vote. Then it's become pretty popular knowledge that the people our votes don't even determine the presidency. It's the electoral votes that determine the presidency. I remember Puff and BET had that vote or die. Oh, man, vote or die. You know, people died for this. People died to vote and not have it count. Like, I was so pissed off. I was a fool that voted for Obama the first time around. That was the one and only time I ever voted. Boy, I was a Negro to the heart. I wasn't voting nothing. I felt so convicted when they, vote or die, vote or die. Man, I called myself Karen. I said, man, I got to do something. I went out to the ballots.
He said, proud Negro, helping my people.
I was so happy. I got that little funky little sticker that say I voted.
Put that on your car.
I thought I was somebody. I am somebody. Man,
Happy.
that night, well, that day, something happened somehow with my vote. To the point where they told me immediately that my vote wouldn't count. They wouldn't be able to count my vote for 6 weeks. I think that year, a whole lot of people, it happened with them. They wouldn't be able to count your vote for 6 weeks. It was like they all of a sudden act like they didn't have my name in the registry. And they told me straight out that your vote will not count for 6 weeks. And here I am later on that evening, and they're telling me who the president of the United States is. But then told me that not only my vote, but so many thousands of people's votes wouldn't be counted for another 6 weeks. Your votes don't count. And that's when I really, began my journey of really saying, I ain't voting no more. The hell with that. I'm not doing it. Then other people were like, oh, well, vote on, you can at least vote on these. Don't vote on the presidency. Nah, I'm not voting. Because they're going to pretty much push through whatever it is that they want to push through. This is my voting right now. I vote to put hands on that on that whole race. That's what I vote for. Go ahead and finish that off.
Verse 25. When he speaketh fair, believe him not.
Don't believe him. Go ahead.
For there are 7 abominations in his heart.
7 different things that he got in mind, like how he going to destroy you, how he's going to get over on you, exploit you, so on and so forth. Go ahead.
Whose hatred is covered by deceit.
You can't even half of the time see his hatred because he covers it so well with his deceit. I don't understand how the most murderous nation on the face of this earth, they have the most extensive history of terrorism, but yet they are perceived to be the most civilized, loving people on the face of this earth. Mm-hmm. How is that? How do you do that? They have murdered everybody. They punk everybody to date. Bully. But yet would have you to believe that they are the most diplomatic, that they are the most civil of all people on the face of this earth. Yep. And then have you looking at yourself. You see your people how we operate. Yeah, some niggas out there acting a fool. Yeah, some essays out there tripping. But the majority of us, we can do this. We can chill. We can play dominoes. We want peace. They like going out there and exploring. They like going out there jumping out of planes and doing all kind of crazy stuff. They like going killing bears and lions. They like taking on nature. But yet they got you believing that you the worst thing that ever walked the face of this earth. They got you scared of your own self. Crazy. That's what you call a devil. Go ahead.
Whose hatred is covered by deceit. His wickedness shall be shown before the whole congregation.
But he's got to be exposed. And that's what's happening right now. He's being exposed. Straight up. Go from there. Go to Psalms 35 and 11.
Psalm chapter 35 and verse 11. False witnesses did rise up.
So hold on. False witnesses. That's what the devil is. Go ahead.
They laid to my charge things that I knew not.
He said, they laid to my charge things that I knew not. Don't they do us like that? How many of our people that's in prison right now? You see all of these people, all these news stories. Oh, yeah, he was locked up for 40 years. And he's finally got a chance at freedom. And then don't give him nothing. Like for all the years that you took from me and you found out that I'm innocent. Those of our people that they've executed and then they come back and say DNA actually showed that they were actually innocent. So now we're exonerating them. But you don't give the family anything. I mean, really, you can't even pay enough. You destroyed families and lives. That's a devil. He'll put a charge on you in a minute. He'll know that you ain't do it, but he'll stick you with the charge just because you're a friend of somebody. Or you got some kind of affiliation. Or just because he needs to make a quota. He's a devil indeed. Go ahead.
False witnesses did rise up. They laid to my charge things that I knew not.
Go ahead.
They rewarded me evil for good, to the spoiling of my soul.
And we try to do good. We try to do right by them. He said they still do us dirty. Try to be cool. Try to smile at them. Try to make it seem like we ain't stealing nothing in their stores. And for all of that, look how they treat us. Go ahead.
But as for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I humbled my soul with fasting, and my prayer returned into my own bosom.
We sick when something happened to Paris. We sick when they get shot up in Vegas. If they get shot over here down the street on Broadway, we ain't tripping, because that's what niggas do. But as soon as some white folks get shot up, oh, pray for them. Oh, it's just a travesty. Oh, we got to change some laws. Am I lying? Go ahead.
I behaved myself as though he had been my friend or brother.
Man, we behave ourselves like the white man is our best friend and our brother. But watch this, read.
I bowed down heavily as one that mourneth for his mother.
Man, we crying over these white folk. Stuff happening to them. We feeling sad. You see that little white kid, oh man, they play the right music behind that news clip. Show that little white kid, oh, they took his life. It was unfair and I want justice. It's so crazy. We mourn over their dogs more than we mourn over our people. It was just not fair. We want justice for Fido. Put Michael Vick under the jail for some damn dogs. Go ahead.
But in mine adversity, they rejoice.
In my adversity, when we going through hell, man, they rejoice. They love it. When we going through hell, they love it. It's crazy because it would seem like I would only be able to say Hurricane Katrina. But how many big disasters have we had since Hurricane Katrina? Here in 2017, we had a couple of hurricanes. What happened in Houston? Man, what did that hurricane do? How many of our people got lost their lives, and how many of our people got displaced because of it? And how long did it take aid to come? How long did it take for them to send some help? I'm going to tell you this. Some years back, it was a tsunami, and it happened in Sri Lanka. That's over there like in India, right? They was over there within hours to give those people aid. Japan too. And it took them 4 days to come down to New Orleans. I don't know how many days it took them to come to Houston, but it sure wasn't a day or two. I was about to hit. That's how you know they, and it's crazy. Our people need to stop saying that nonsense that, Puerto Rican, so on and so forth, ain't Israel. Because they treat us the same. Look at what they did in Puerto Rico. Look at what they did in Haiti. When it's us, we got to feel it. And then here they are smiling and stuff. Help is on the way. Man, I'll slap the hell out of you. Excuse my language. You made me mad. Man, that's a slap in the face. You gonna tell me you help is on the way. Man, we ought to just rally and say just no picket signs. We just all want to slap. Line up just to slap the hell out of the officials and the president for saying some dumb stuff like that. And then reserve another slap for all of the dumb Israelites that's actually, we're just waiting for the president to do something. Like, I ain't waiting for these white folks to do nothing for me. I see that. These white folks that kill my kids and not think nothing of it. And go and vacate, have a vacation, have a good old time. Straight up. Oh yeah, they ready to snatch your kids up. Human trafficking. And then if they don't want you in that way, they still want you. They want to take you out so they can harvest your organs. Man, our people don't know how bad we really got it. You know how many of our people go missing on a year-to-year basis? Real talk. That's why it's important we greet each other shalom. That's about the only peace you gonna get. Straight up. Go ahead.
But in mine adversity they rejoice, and gathered themselves together. Yea, the objects gathered themselves.
The what?
The objects.
You know what an abject is? An abject is someone who deserves to be despised, to be hated. So we're not just talking about anybody. These people are worthy of the hate that we should be giving them. That's from the Bible. Look up the word if you think I'm lying. Abject. They're abjects, worthy of being hated for all the stuff that they've done to us and they continue to do to us. And for all of that, our people, well, what about the white man? What about the white race? Straight up. Can care less about you, people that look like us, but you want to look to the white man and seek his salvation. That's called self-hatred. Go ahead.
The abjects gathered themselves together against me, and I knew it not. They did tear me, and ceased not.
He said, they gathered themselves against him, and I knew it not. Because here they are. You never see them. They have councils. They go off Bohemian Grove and all of these various different places, and they have councils, the UN. You know, these cities that are off of the radar, that are not even subjected to that country's laws. They have a law of their own within that province, where they concoct these different plans of destroying us. And you don't even know about it, because you enjoying the Super Bowl. They got everybody looking at the Super Bowl. Everybody looking at, it's crazy. But go ahead.
With hypocritical mockers and feast.
Hypocritical mockers in feast. They mock us. I know you've seen some of the pictures, cakes that they make that look like us, mocking Martin Luther King, dressing like us, mocking the Native Americans, mocking just our people. They about to mock us at Thanksgiving, making a mockery of us, and I'm just doing it, you know what I'm saying? The family get a chance to get together, you feel me? But I don't really celebrate Thanksgiving. I don't even really celebrate Christmas. I just be coming around because the family be around. It's like, wow. Our people, man, we just want to make an excuse for everything. Why these folks just laugh at us. They laughing. Look at these dummies celebrating our wicked pagan days. And they know it's pagan. We tell them it's pagan and they don't give a damn. They still keep these days. Our people, man, our people so destroyed, they don't even want to go up and they don't even want to use a dictionary or use Google. You can Google every damn thing. You ain't even gotta use your fingers no more. You can hold a damn button. I done used damn so much today, forgive me. I know they're gonna be on me. Man, you can voice Siri. What is the origin or what's the definition of? Are people too lazy to go and see what the definition of various? They don't even know what pagan mean. You got a lot of people that done heard it. Y'all know it's a pagan holiday, but well, what does pagan mean? People still getting mad because the word nigger being used, and they ain't even took the time to go and see what the word mean. Destroyed for a lack of knowledge. You worried about somebody using the N-word. But yet you let these white folks put their foot up all upside your face and your neck, and you still patronize them every chance you get, but won't patronize the businesses of your own people. If we can't personally get a cut, we ain't trying to have any of us be elevated. We don't want to pay a couple of extra cents to see a fellow Israelite do well in business and hopefully have a business that becomes a staple in our community. What kind of sickness is that? Hell no, we ain't got no peace. Go ahead.
With hypocritical mockers and feasts, they gnashed upon me with their teeth.
Go ahead.
Lord, how long wilt thou look on? Rescue my soul from their destruction.
He said, rescue my soul from their destructions. Because they got all kind of ways to destroy us. Go ahead.
My darling from the lions.
Go ahead.
I will give thee thanks in the great congregation. I will praise thee among much people.
Go ahead.
Let not them that are mine enemies wrongfully rejoice over me.
He said, don't let them wrongfully rejoice over me. They wrongfully rejoice over us all the time, and they criminalize us. Look how they did Trayvon Martin. Look how they did Mike Brown. Look how they did countless Native Americans that they've killed and wouldn't even publicize, wouldn't even put it in the news. Countless Latinos that they won't even put it in the news. The only reason I know a Trayvon Martin and Mike Brown off the top of my head is because how heavily it was publicized. They had no choice. But one thing that they did, they said, well, all right, we're going to let this kind of fly, but we got to make sure that we don't put the Latinos and the Native Americans in the headlines. That way you never connected. Like they getting killed at the same rates that we getting killed at. Go ahead.
With the eye that hate me without a cause. For they speak not peace, but they devise deceitful matters against them.
Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. I missed that one part. He said, with the eye that hate me without a cause. You ever seen somebody of your own people and they just look at you, they just don't like you? Wasn't that some of the dumbest stuff? Man, I remember somebody did me like that. I done seen it happen, but when it happened to me, I was just like, why you hate me? What'd I do to you? I don't know. I just don't like you. White folks hate us without a cause. They ain't got no good reason. You just in the way. You can try to be as nice because some of us, we think we nice. Oh, yeah, they ain't going to mess with me. they gonna have, man, white folks was killing us and having fun. You seen them postcards? They was so happy they had glee in their face. Seeing us angling and dangling from trees. Straight up. Kids is there like they at Disneyland. Think we forgot about that? Hell no. Go ahead. Verse 20.
Verse 20. For they speak not peace.
They don't even try to speak peace when it comes down to us. Call you every kind of super predator and thug and gangster and homie and all kind of nonsense. Go ahead.
But they devise deceitful matters against them that are quiet in the land.
Man, we just trying to be quiet. We just trying to live. We just trying to go to work and come back home. Get pulled over and killed by the police. Damn. Now that's cursed. That's cursed in the city, boy. Straight up. tell us we ain't the Israelites. I mean, it's, at this point, I think people realize, because a bunch of people that was trying to deny and fight it, they done gave up the fight. They try to hit other aspects of the doctrine now. Well, you're saying that white people are not going to make it into the kingdom? Well, you serve a God that they come in with everything else. They ain't even trying to debate whether or not we Israelites know. It ain't no debating it. It's no debating it. So now they like, man, we got to find some type of way to derail this. It ain't no derailing it. To the point where they really about to put us through some hell. Because they see that people are waking up. Straight up. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and all the knowledge, all the agents and suspects, and the majority of the agents that they send is their own people against us. They come down with the Egyptologists, Kemet, and they saying how the Israelites on YouTube are destroying everything that any truth they try to come with, we destroying them and taking their strongholds down, and they can't win against it. So now, like you say, they're going to start, oh, you can't be on the corner, we locking you up, or, we got cut, take your videos off YouTube. So it's coming, the day coming.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. That's why we really got to make the moves that we need to make right now. Stop lollygagging, because it's going to get real. I'm not here to tell you all next year or 5 years, but we ain't got too much time before they start making moves. Because right now they plan and they trying to figure out, okay, is it time to go into this particular action that we got in place? So we got to get our stuff together. Go from there. Let's go to stay in Psalms. Get 55. And let's read verse 20 and 21.
Psalm chapter 55 and verse 20. He has put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him.
Uh-huh.
He has broken his covenant.
And that's what the white man has been good for. Folks try to be at peace with him. And he's still, and that's not only with us. He does that with all the other countries. He does that with the other nations. Sign peace treaties and will break them in a heartbeat. You ain't moving the way I want you to move. I'm gonna slap you up and bomb you one time. Look how he did Gaddafi. Look how they did Osama bin Laden and Saddam Hussein. Look how they tried to do Chavez. And then they demonized him after he passed on. Esau, man, I'm telling you, he a cold piece of work. Because they sit up here and they'll think we just, Esau, look at these. They've got so much hate in them. Now, we got evidence. All of the stuff that this guy continues to do. Go ahead.
He hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
Man, ain't that some poetry for you? The words of his mouth was smoother than butter. Butter is smooth. It ain't no rough edges. Butter will conform and melt. And butter is quite tasty.
Yeah, put it on my pancake.
Said, but with all of that, said war was in his heart. The whole time he had it in his mind, I'm going to destroy you. As soon as you turn around, I'm going to blow your brains out. That's how this white man moves. Go ahead.
His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
Drawn swords. They ready to cut you up. That's how he moves. Go from there. Go to Proverbs.
His words got that soul glow.
Man. That extra shine. That coconut oil shine.
Just like your soul glow.
Soul glow. What you want?
Proverbs 29 and 2. Man.
Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
Man, whenever you got a situation where the righteous are ruling, the people rejoice. Now, we don't really know what that's like. Because all our life has been wicked people running this earth. The earth has been given over into the hands of the wicked. We get a glimpse of it if we ever are in a situation where we got righteous people, you know what I'm saying, like some of these church situations, these real churches, the Israelites. And you get a glimpse of that. And you see how beautiful things can be. But watch this. The flip side is this. Go ahead.
But when the wicked beareth rule,
But when the wicked are ruling, read,
the people mourn.
the people mourn. Because it's hell. And that's exactly what's happening. We mourning out here. We getting killed left and right. We going through hell. We trying to figure out, you know what I'm saying? They'll take your money, but then they don't want you to collect your own money. They don't want to give you disability and unemployment. Give you hell. Give you hell. Tax you 4-5 times over. Take your money without your permission and then give you a portion of it back and call it income tax and you be happy. I came up. They just took a loan. Well, not even a loan. A partial loan. The rest of it, they just pocketed. I'm gambling. I'm waiting to see how much I'm going to get back. How much I'm going to get back of my own money. The question should be, how much did you take? How many of y'all have done y'all income taxes and you actually, they told you and disclosed to you how much they took from you? They took all of that money, but did they give it all back? Heck no, they ain't going to give it all back. And the thing is, they taking your money at no interest. Have you ever received a loan without interest from any of their institutions, any of their banks, credit unions? Always. But they take your money with no interest. Man, just wicked, man. Go from there. Go to Micah. Mess around and have people wanting to go to war tonight. Sometimes I work myself up. God. Go home and look at my bills and just trip out. Micah chapter 2. Let's read verse 1 and 2.
Micah chapter 2 and verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity.
To them, and these scriptures over and over talking about these people. Woe unto them that devise iniquity. They trying to figure out ways to make you sin. They coming up with all kind of surgeries on how to make a man a woman. They got all of these hormones on how to make a woman really look like a man. I mean, in 2017, homie, it's tough. Man, I was always like, man, I know. I see him, I know. I got that feeling. I'm looking at the neck. I'm looking at the knees. Go ahead.
On the way here on Channel 2, they had a woman that calling herself a man and she's a boxer. They trying to get her first fight right now. She got the facial hair, straight woman, but said she believes she was a man. She born a man, a boy.
She better keep her supplement game up. She ain't got enough testosterone pumping up in there. She gonna get knocked out. Then feminists gonna be like, we can do it. Let her go up in there and her testosterone game ain't right. That's just like all the men. They be taking testosterone supplements. Let her testosterone not be right. See what happened to her. She gonna get maxed out. But these women, man, they be looking like straight men. Man, these women, man, they be having more facial hair than Mac. Man, I look at some of these women, man, you know how a man face cut different. His face just cut different. It ain't the same. Like everything about him, like, damn, that was a female? Then they showed her what she used to look like. Face done got all chiseled up. She got a real beard. Like, God damn. It's like, man, it's crazy out here. It's real out here. Then the dudes that turn into the females, they going to down below the border and getting these jobs. They turning men, because a man, his hips ain't the same as a woman. They going and they got stuff where they making their hips look like real women hips. Because there's certain telltale signs with a man. All right, his hips ain't going to be there. Man, ain't no man going to have no hips. You know what I'm saying? It's just a certain, they getting all of that done. The manly features, the chisel, they got hormones that they take. It take the chisel away. Looking like a female, like, damn, you serious? Mess around. Huh?
They put that weed in their head.
Oh, man, they got the man weave now.
I see one on the train. I thought, oh my God, that's a man.
See, the ones around here, you can still kind of tell because they ain't got the money. But these ones, hey, you got them in videos, man. They be messing with these big-time rappers. It's getting real out here. You mess around and get caught up if you want to. So, man, scriptures say, man, better get one that's really keeping these commandments.
Yeah, let me see your baby picture.
Man, real talk. Let me see your high school pictures, too. I need to see what you graduated as before you had your own money. Straight up. Go ahead.
Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
Go ahead.
When the morning is light, they practice it.
When the morning is light, they practice it. Now, this is cold right here. When the morning is light, they practice it. Meaning what? They ain't trying to do nothing in the dark. They do it where everybody can see. They can give a daggone. They open with it. Go ahead.
Because it is in the power of their hand.
Because they can. They do it because they can do it. It's like all this homosexual stuff. They do it because they can. Forcing your kids to be exposed to a homosexual curriculum. They do it because they can. Go ahead. And then with these vaccinations, what part of the game is that? Breaking every kind of right that we supposedly had as Americans. But this country is just full of lies, set up on all types of hypocrisy. Call you an American, but ain't nowhere on any type of official documents, any affidavit that you can actually see that you've been declared as an American. You're a U.S. citizen at best. You know what I'm saying? People don't even understand what this whole United States thing is. It allows them to be able to manipulate law. Well, let's see what the federal law says versus what the state law says. Like, really? It's trickery. But go ahead, I'm sorry. Verse 2.
And they covered fields and take them by violence.
They did that. They came here in America. They saw land. They called it manifest destiny. You ever heard of the Trail of Tears? Yeah, go look it up. Yeah. But what's crazy about it, they ain't stopped doing it. They decide they're going to build a freeway. You got to get up out of there. You got to move. We'll offer you this little funky couple of $1,000. Be happy with it. If you don't take it, then you're going to have to move anyway. Man, for real. Because we don't own nothing out here. Make you move, relocate out to Lancaster. Straight up. Now it's ghettos all out there. I remember when folks first started moving out there. Man, Lancaster, Palmdale, it's peaceful out here. Now it ain't nothing but hoods out there. Jakes. Acting the fool. and they getting this prime real estate back. They want this land so bad. I ain't never seen so many white folks in these neighborhoods. I see white folks everywhere now. Like, what he doing here? He comfortable. I don't even feel comfortable jogging in the hood. They jogging, walking their dogs in the hood. And it's crazy because they done finally figured it out. They was like, hey, we're not cursed. You cursed. White folks be all around. Man, ain't nothing but hood around USC, man. And they don't, half of the time, they don't even mess with them. But let us run around there. We be getting pressed. Man, that's a curse. That's a curse. Go ahead.
And they covered fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage.
And they oppress us. They take everything. get Lamentations chapter 4. I know I ain't gonna get through everything. I'm gonna try though. I can throw you out in the back now. He ain't up front. Look. I might push my luck.
He's like, I'm on security, y'all. Hold on. I'm trying to be out of here.
Tell him Jay put 40 scriptures every time. I'm knowing damn well he can only get to 20.
He said 9:15 flat, Ark.
Go ahead. Lamentations chapter 4, verse 17. Yeah, you right, Ark. You right, you tell.
Lamentations chapter 4, verse 17.
Go ahead.
As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help.
It ain't nothing but vain help. The government ain't gonna help you. The government ain't never been about helping us.
Got my EBT.
Man.
GR.
Obama phone. You got your Obama phone?
GR. Obama phone.
General relief. And we think, oh man, the government helping us. They loves us. Got me some Section 8.
Section 8, master take care of me. Got my eats, my foods, my clothing, my shelter. I'm good.
Vain help. And the crazy thing about it, what's so vain about it, half of that stuff you can't even get unless your man ain't present. You got some folks, they trying to hide the fact that they actually got a man in the house. Like, you gotta go, they coming for it. Telling secrets. You gotta, man, I'm telling you, man, they do our people so dirty. We gotta be at our lowest point for them to even consider helping us. Folks have a little bit of money, but need that extra help. They don't want to help us. They don't want to help you.
The more you start improving your condition, the more they start taking away.
Exactly. Cold-blooded, man. Vain help. They ain't trying to help us. Go ahead.
As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
America cannot save us. They will not save us. They really have no interest in saving us. It is not profitable for them to save us, seeing that they have profited tremendously off of our free labor. Now you think you're getting paid. You can't possibly be getting paid your worth. Straight up. Tell you, oh, I get a whole $20 an hour. I'm balling.
I gets $21.25.
Man, and then these bastards, they do less at the top and make all the money. Give you the pennies and they make the big money and they don't do nothing but vacate. Go on vacations.
We got to make the big decisions.
Like they got some kind of divine pipeline of decisions coming. Ooh, only you can get this. It's just like these preachers, like it's some divine word. You idiots. Nah, heck no. Go ahead.
Hey, take time coming up with them seminars.
Man. and pay the people that do the seminars crazy money. Mess around and pay you $12,000 to come and be a motivational speaker. Let me motivate somebody. Motivate them. Man. Pay me. Hey, give me 6 G's for a couple of hours. Man.
Shoot.
Go ahead.
Verse 18, they hunt our steps, that we cannot go on our streets.
Man, they hunt our steps, man. And is the Bible lying? Or is the Bible smack dead on point? That's why these jackleg preachers talking about, we gotta, the Bible, that's back in the old days. We gotta relate it to. You ain't gotta relate nothing when you reading the right thing. They want to stay away from all of this. You ain't gotta relate nothing. We are in the Bible right now. The Bible is speaking about what we going through right now. That's the coldest thing I've ever seen. I'm reading the book that I'm in.
Damn, that's deep. Huh?
That's deep. Cold-blooded.
I ain't never got no storybook for bedtime that got me in it.
and what's gonna happen in the future in it. Straight up. That's why I'm like, man, with all these fools with the like what the brother was bringing up, talking about Egyptology and all that nonsense, the Book of the Dead, and y'all got that from Ma'at. All that nonsense, man. Well, show me where the hell Ma'at gonna help us get out of this situation. Straight up. Show me where any of that stuff is gonna help us as a people. This tell us exactly what it is and exactly what we got to do to get out of it. You want to demonize this, but you ain't offering no solutions. Sad, man. Go ahead. People sellouts.
They hunt our steps that we cannot go on our streets.
Can't even go on our own blocks, man. Tripping off of making sure we go to a gas station that's safe, or you comfortable going to your hood to your gas station that you grew up in. But I ain't going to that gas station. Like, I'm serious. Even me right now, I leave here and certain. I'm like, man, I know whoop-de-whoop. It be kind of janky over there. I got to give me some gas. I got to slide to this one, and I'm still watching, looking over my shoulder. Straight up. Go ahead.
Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come.
Go ahead.
Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven.
Uh-huh.
They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness.
They still do that everywhere. Everywhere you look, man, you looking. You don't know if it's gonna be your people, if it's gonna be the police. Like, why in the world am I worrying about a white man taking my life when ain't hardly no white people living in my neighborhood? But I found out way down in Mississippi, they promoting for the 77 district. Come out here, you can hunt some niggers. Like we duck hunt. Like, man, like they get a kick out of it. Plenty of blacks and Latinos you can shoot all day. give you overtime for it. Dang, go ahead.
The breath of our nostrils, the anointed of the Lord, was taken in their pits, of whom we said, under his shadow we shall live among the heathen.
Under his shadow, under the shadow of this white man, we live. Go ahead.
Rejoice and be glad.
That's all I needed. Go from there. Let's get Jeremiah chapter 16. Let's read 3 through 5.
Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 3 through 5.
Hold on one second. Any questions concerning the lesson? Any questions out there? Any lessons online? Questions online? All right. Let's get it in. Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 16 and verse 3.
Yep.
For thus saith the Lord, concerning the sons and concerning the daughters that are born in this place, and concerning their mothers that bear them, and concerning their fathers that begat them in this land.
Talking about us right here. Go ahead.
They shall die of grievous deaths.
Ain't that happening? Grievous deaths. Because not only are we getting murdered, but everybody, auntie, somebody got cancer. Getting cancer younger and younger. Getting all types of diabetes and heart disease younger and younger. They concocting all different types of sugars that your body can't properly digest. And you thinking, they used to call it sugar diabetes. Diabetes was unheard of back in the days. Now everybody got diabetes. Huh? It's dead. Everybody got diabetes now. Everybody got heart disease. Everybody getting stroke. Everybody. Go ahead. Use that. Raise your hand. Everybody got an issue, some type of issue. We suffer from mental illness more than anybody else, blacks and Latinos and Native Americans. Native Americans on a reservation going through hell, living in third world conditions. Straight up. Flint, Michigan. Look at Flint. What's so crazy about Flint and they water, they did that in the hood. It's still bad water in the hood right here. Ain't nobody talking about it. Straight up. And that's real talk. I'm not even exaggerating. Right over here in Gardena / Compton. Bad water in the hood. Ain't nobody talking about it. And ain't nobody facing charges. How they said the whole Flint, Michigan thing happened. They made a decision. Who the hell made that decision? And why haven't they been put on trial? But yet you want to make all of these leaders in these other countries face a trial for war crimes and be executed. And in actuality, they ain't even have the ability to bring any type of harm to our people. What's so crazy about it? How you get mad at a leader for supposedly bombing his own people? So to try to bring justice, you go over there and bomb them some more and feel justified by doing that. What type of logic is that? And we believe this stuff. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Is that all of that?
Verse 4. They shall die of grievous deaths. They shall not be lamented. Neither shall they be buried.
Go ahead.
But they shall be as dung upon the face of the earth.
Go ahead.
And they shall be consumed by the sword and by famine. And their carcasses shall be meat for the fowls of heaven and for the beasts of the earth.
So some of y'all might say that's a bit extreme. That's not physically happening. That literally is happening all over the earth to our people. Not only that, even here in this country. Look how long Mike Brown stayed out there. Yeah. Rewind a couple of decades ago when we was hanging on trees and they was letting us rot. This is really happening. Then a lot of our people, we don't even have the money to bury our own. We got to cremate. Yeah, when was that? This year? Yeah. Man, they still hanging us. Still hanging us. 2017. And here we are acting like it's all good. The girl that they found in that hotel that they tried to hide, and then the evidence started coming out. What's that? I forgot her name, but yeah. And took the girl's organs. The other dude that they rolled up in the mat. Man, let that have been done to white folks by Israelites and see when we have war. Y'all better go back and watch Roots: The Next Generation with Chicken George now. Y'all, who watched that with the Nat Turner? How they got the tripping, all them white folks start tripping. Huh? Man, nah, this the old one. You know, they had the Roots, and then they had the one with Chicken George. With Chicken George, during that time, they had the whole Nat Turner revolt. And man, they was tripping. Chicken George, you know, he was actually Edomite. They got the tripping on Chicken George when it popped off. White folks were so shook. They were shook. Go ahead, verse 5.
Verse 5. And thus saith the Lord, enter not into the house of mourning, neither go to lament, nor bemoan them. For I have taken away my peace from this people.
I have what?
For I have taken away my peace.
The Most High is taking away his peace. He's the one that's taking away that peace. People asking, are we in peace? Is there peace? Nah, the Most High took away our peace. But why? Go ahead.
For I have taken away my peace from this people, saith the Lord, even loving kindness and mercy.
He said, even loving kindness and mercy. He said the other nations deal with us in such a merciless manner. No loving kindness whatsoever concerning our people. All because of our transgressions. All because of our haughtiness. All because we refuse to turn back to the Most High. We refuse to ask for mercy. We refuse to confess to all of the things that we've done against the Heavenly Father. Go from there. Go to... I'm going to show you what that peace is, though. I'm just going to give you a little bit of it. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Y'all all right? Yeah, we almost there. Deuteronomy 28, and let's start at verse 1.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1.
Yep.
And it shall come to pass that thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Sad because our people don't even want to be above the other nations. Well, I just want to be a human being. You fool. Go ahead.
And all these blessings shall come on thee, and overtake thee.
And overtake you. You're going to be so blessed that it would overtake us. Go ahead.
If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
If you just listen to this Bible. Go ahead.
Blessed shalt thou be in the city,
Uh-huh.
and blessed shalt thou be in the field.
Go ahead.
Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground,
He said your kids and what you plant. Go ahead.
and the fruit of thy cattle,
And your cattle. Go ahead.
the increase of thy kine,
Uh-huh.
and the flocks of thy sheep.
And even the flocks of thy sheep. Go ahead.
Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store.
That's your businesses. And you read on down, he said, man, this is what it would be like to be in rulership, to be blessed. This is what you can look forward to when we go to the kingdom, when we get to the kingdom. That's peace. Yerushalayim, our capital city, city of peace. Peace. Why is it that we don't want peace? You ruling, that's the only, the Bible is telling you, your people ruling is the only way that there will be peace. You can't look to the Moabites, you can't look to Ishmael. They had their chances, and when they ruled, they were cruel to us. When they had us in captivity, they didn't do right by us, and they definitely didn't do right by the Heavenly Father. He said the only way that there is going to be peace is when you finally are restored to rulership. Drop down. Verse 9.
Verse 9. The Lord shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he has sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God and walk in his ways.
Is that too much to ask? Crazy. Is that too much to ask? Why do people act like that's so much? Straight up. Think about that. I'll give you everything. You got some women that got enough sense. They get with a man and the man say, look, all you got to do is just play your part. All right. Yeah, I got a couple of other women on the side, but you just, you know, you got to be my front woman and I'll take care of you, anything you want. Okay, I'm cool with that. I'll respect you and everything. Most High said, I give you everything that you could possibly need. Everything you want, everything will be met. You don't have to want for anything. All you got to do is keep the commandments. I don't know about these fringes. Can I at least shave my beard? Well, I want to wear some pants. Man, I don't know, man. I'm with it, but ooh, it's going to be kind of hard giving up that bacon, though. Man, homie, I'm with it, though. But, man, Christmas, though, ooh, I can't see myself not giving the kids no gifts, though. You feel me? Kids shouldn't have to pay for it. You feel me? These, I mean, true stories. True stories. Go from there. Go to Barak, 3 and 13. Maybe one day I'll be able to give a part 2 to this. I know, huh? I'm just gonna have a whole part 2 series of everything that I didn't finish. Hey man,
Continue.
When you get to doing these lessons and precepting, man, it get good to you. You get to put, Oh man, that was good.
Said on the next episode of Hebrews Are Me.
Baruch chapter 3 and verse 13.
Baruch chapter 3 and verse 13.
Watch this. Go ahead.
For if thou hast walked in the way of God,
If you would have walked in the way of God, go ahead.
thou shouldest have dwelled in peace forever.
You see that? He said if we hadn't have never sinned, if we would have just kept these commandments, we wouldn't have never went through any of this stuff that we went through.
But since you put peace far from you, thou shalt be cursed forever.
Straight up. Straight up. Say it right there.
Nah. That's just your
I
time.
should have put that in there. Straight up, though. All we had to do was keep the commandments, and we would have been good. We would have been straight. We would have been straight. Go to go. Yeah, he did. It made it sound like it was like it was the next line.
They was convicted.
Jeremiah chapter 6.
He said, damn, that word said everything I wanted to.
I looked down and everything. Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 18 through 21.
He wouldn't ask what words of Bible I'm using. Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 9.
Verse 18.
Oh, verse 18. Shoot, where I get 9 from? Verse 18. And it says, therefore hear, ye nations, and know, O congregation, what is among them.
Go ahead.
Hear, O earth, behold, I will bring evil upon this people, even the fruit of their thoughts.
Said even the fruit of their thoughts. We just think evil stuff, and then we just, man, we do. Am I lying? We devise all kind of evil stuff, ways that. Oh man. Said, man, the evil thoughts. Go ahead.
Because they have not hearkened unto my words, nor to my law, but rejected it.
They reject it. We don't want to hear the words of the Most High. We don't want to hear the laws. We reject it. Drop down to verse 21. Go ahead.
Verse 21, therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will lay stumbling blocks before this people, and the fathers and the sons together.
The fathers and the sons together. Ain't we getting tagged up? Yeah, our people are getting hit up, but the fathers and the sons are the main ones catching it. Go ahead.
Shall fall upon them.
Uh-huh.
The neighbor and his friend shall perish.
We dying left and right. Go from there. Let's get Ecclesiasticus chapter 30. Ecclesiasticus chapter 30, verse 21.
Sirach chapter 30 and verse 21.
Uh-huh.
Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel.
So it's saying, man, don't fall into a state of depression. Things that you can't necessarily remedy and you have no power over. Don't allow yourself to dig yourself so deep within yourself to the point where you go into a state of depression. Go ahead.
The gladness of the heart is the life of man,
Uh-huh.
and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days.
So your oppressor, your enemy knows this. So basically what the Bible is telling you, if you got gladness of heart, of mind, it's going to prolong your life. If you don't have all these things that are stressing you out, all of these bills you're trying to figure out how to pay, you would actually live longer. If you didn't have your wife talking ish, if you didn't have your husband acting a doggone fool, your life, you would actually live longer. But stress kills us. Not only that, when we stress, we either gonna smoke, we gonna drink, Or we going to eat. Or we going to do something destructive that's going to cause even more harm to you. And your enemy knows that. Go ahead.
Love thine own soul.
Love yourself. Go ahead.
And comfort thy heart.
Look out for yourself. Go ahead.
Remove sorrow far from thee.
Man, find a way to not have to worry about some of the things that you allowing to stress you out. Go ahead.
For Saul hath killed many.
What?
For Saul hath killed many.
Just sorrow alone has killed so many people. You hear all of the stories about old folks, when they mate die, they die soon thereafter. Nothing physically wrong with them. It's just they literally give up the ghost because they that sorrowful. They don't have any reason to live. So many people don't want to live. Some people all out take the gun, put it to their head, cut themselves, take pills. But everybody don't kill themselves. Some of us kill ourselves slowly. We give up on life. That's what it does. And that's what our enemy knows, that that's one of the main functions of our destruction. Self-destruction. Go ahead.
And there is no profit therein.
Ain't no profit in that. The nation doesn't profit from that. Go ahead.
Envy and wrath shorten the life.
Envy and wrath shorten of life on so many different levels. That's that energy that we have to put into that ultimately causes us to burn out. And not only that, all types of different problems arises within our families and our communities that causes many of us to lose our lives because of envy and strife, or envy and wrath. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And carefulness bringeth age before the time.
And carefulness, because every time you go out in these streets, you got to be careful. Stressed. Gray hairs popping up. Go ahead.
A cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet.
And even with that, a lot of people overlook this. When you're in a good place in life, you're more inclined to do better and eat better and be more healthy. When you're not in a good space in life, when you are stressed, when your mind's not in a good place, you're more prone to eat things that are unhealthy, to try to eat things that are going to kind of trigger endorphins and make you feel better. And you ultimately destroy yourself. That's a heavy scripture right there. A cheerful and good heart, mind, will have care of his meat and diet. So it's almost like you working double time against yourself, trying to get your diet and your health right, if you can't even get your mental right. It's like you got to fix the mental first, but then the mental is literally affected by the physical. Man, it's a devil, man. I'm telling you. Go to 2nd Ezra. As a matter of fact, you could just write this one down. 2nd Ezra chapter 14, verse 13 through 16. And it talks about the fact that we got to prepare ourselves. It says that we got to set aside those mortal thoughts. Set aside those thoughts that are most heavy to us. And we got to start preparing. Write down Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 18, because that shows us that there's a time for war and a time for peace. Right now is not the time for peace. It's a time of war in preparation. Write down Luke chapter 12, verse 51 through 53, because Yahweh Shai, Christ, talks about it. He says, don't even think I came to bring peace. He said, you kind of twisted. He said, I came to bring division. He said, nah, I didn't come to bring peace. He said, if you ain't willing to hate, meaning reject your family members, not the ones that's keeping these commandments, but all of those that say, I don't want to follow a God like that. He said, if you ain't willing to reject them and keep it moving, he said, you ain't worthy of me. Mind you, it's a balance to that, because he still says we got to honor our father and our mother as long as they're not causing us to transgress the commandments. But he said at the end of the day, you're going to either roll with me or you ain't. He said, and if you ain't willing to put them to the side and roll with me, you ain't worthy of me. You ain't worthy of being one of my disciples. So also write down 2nd Esdras chapter 15, verse 14 through 16. And that's just talking about all the woe that's coming to the world. Write down Proverbs 11 and 21. That's talking about all of those that want to join hand in hand with Esau. They're going to get towed up. Keep on trying to save this white man. Watch this one. I want to go to this one, though. Go to Deuteronomy 4 and 9. The Bible said clear. Watch this. Everybody, oh, what about the white man? What about the other nations? Watch what the Bible says. Deuteronomy 4 and 9.
Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 9.
Uh-huh.
Only take heed to thyself.
Stop. Only do what?
Only take heed to thyself.
Don't worry about these other nations. Worry about yourself, your own people. Go ahead.
And keep thy soul diligently.
Keep thy soul. Stop trying to worry about the souls of these other nations. Go ahead.
Lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen.
Read.
And lest they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life.
Because that's how you get caught up, worrying and loving these other nations. And you forget all the atrocities that they've committed against our people. But read.
But teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons.
Say, worry about your generations to come. Because they worried about theirs, trust me. They teaching their generations to hate you. Look at all of these alt-right and KKK and New Age neo-Nazis and all of these other idiots. They teaching their kids. Write down 2nd Esdras chapter 16 and verse 40. Because he tells us that we need to get ready for battle. I'm not going to hit y'all with all the rest of these, but write down Matthew 5, verse 9 through 12. Talks about us. We're the ones, the Most High is going to allow us to be the ones to actually restore that peace. Write down Jeremiah 14, verse 17 through 22. Because we got to wait upon the Most High for that peace, for that opportunity to execute that peace. And let's go to the last scripture. Let's go to Micah chapter 4. Let's read verse 1 through 5.
Micah chapter 4 and verse 9.
Verse 1.
Oh, Micah chapter 4 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it. And many nations shall come and say, Come, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of the God of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
That's when we'll deal with them other nations. Once we actually ruling. Go ahead. You had something?
I was going to say, can you read, once we actually rule it, because even though in Zechariah 14 it says that's going to come after the war.
Mm-hmm.
Fight the nations first, and then that peace going to come in this chapter.
Absolutely. I think it makes a reference to that too in verse 3.
Zechariah 14 and 3. Go down to verse 12 and 13.
Yes, sir. So make sure y'all write that down. But go ahead.
And many nations shall come and say, Come and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of the God of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways, and we'll walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
And he shall judge among many people, and rebuke strong nations afar off.
See these strong nations like North Korea, huffing and puffing, sticking their chest out, flexing at America. That ain't nothing. They ain't gonna be flexing at us though. Think America's something. Wait till you see Israel. We're gonna be a force to be reckoned with, straight up. All-star players. Go ahead.
And they shall beat their swords into plowshares,
Uh-huh.
and their spears into pruning hooks.
Because I was going to actually go to probably that scripture you was talking about, or it was another one. Talked about tell the nations to get prepared for war. It's a scripture that tells them, and it makes reference to this exact thing. Like, tell them to prepare their weapons, because it's going to be a fight. But right here, he says, at this point, all of those weapons, they're going to turn those into tools so that they can actually serve you. That's what it's going to be. Go ahead.
And he shall judge among many people, and rebuke strong nations afar off. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more.
No more war. They can't even war against each other. They're going to get slapped up by us. I wish you would. You know how you be with your kids? Like, man, you better not hit him. This your land. Ain't no conquering. Stay right there. You got what you need. Go ahead.
But they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid. For the mouth of the Lord of hosts has spoken it.
And the crazy thing about it is, because people make it seem like we so unrighteous for talking about we going to rule over the nations. They going to be subjected to bondage or to servitude. But they going to have it way better than what we got it. Like, because employee, that's one and the same as a servant. It's a word that means the same as servant. We servants here. They not even gonna have to worry about all the nonsense we gotta worry about. Crazy, man. So for people to be like, it's just Esau gotta get killed off. But all these other nations, they gonna have it good. Man, go ahead. Cold, and then they demonize this like we wrong. Go ahead, man.
For all people will walk, every one in the name of his God.
And those guys are talking about us. You could write down Exodus 7:1, which references Moses as a God, meaning the power. Go ahead.
We will walk every one in the name of his God. And we will walk in the name of the Lord our God forever and ever.
Forever and forever. All praises be to the Most High for that. Yes, indeed. I know Don Yala gave me the people's elbow. All right, Brown, like, you better hurry up. All praise be to the Most High with that. Ran out of time, no questions. Send them up. I mod you.